The New York Islanders made 5 signings the other day, and while it's not expected that any of them will play at the NHL level, it is expected that they'll play at the AHL level. So let's grade these signings based off of their potential impact at the lower league. I'm getting back to full health. I'm almost there. You can still hear it in my voice that I'm not quite there yet, but I'm not as stuffy. The energy levels are back. I'm getting back to full strength. As always, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss any of my videos. Also, go to Twitter, follow at TLOMitch. That's me. Don't miss any breaking information about Islanders prospects or game coverage I've yet to cover on the channel. So again, the actual Islanders, that's the NHL ones, did make 5 signings the other day. That's Cole Bardreau, Otto Koivula, Dmytro Timashov, Andy Andreoff, and Paul Ledoux were all signed to NHL contracts. But they're all two-way contracts, which really just means that they have an NHL price or salary and an AHL or minor league salary. So that's why it's a two-way deal, because there's two potential payouts based off of where they're playing. And it's expected that they're all going to be playing at the AHL level. At least I believe so. I can't see any of these guys making the full-time roster for the actual New York Islanders. The Bridgeport Islanders, it makes a lot of sense. So let's grade the signings. And when it comes to the grading, we're going to take the finances all out of this. It doesn't matter. They're all signed in terms of NHL dollars to a league minimum $750,000 deal, right? So it doesn't really matter there. Yes, the money changes at the AHL level, but it actually changes nothing in the grand scheme of things because there's no salary cap at the AHL level, so it doesn't really matter. And it's also because they're NHL deals, these are paid out by the New York Islanders and not the Bridgeport Islanders. So again, the finances don't matter here. So we're going to grade them based off of their potential to fill the role they might play. And what I mean there is, what kind of quality are the Islanders, the Bridgeport ones, bringing in with this player to fill whatever gap they're hoping to fill? Let's start with Cole Bardreau. I give this signing an A+. It makes no sense to let him go. It made no sense at all that he wasn't going to be part of the Bridgeport Islanders after the year he had last year with the Bridgeport then Sound Tigers. He led the team in goals and he led the team in points. He was one of the only bright spots outside of Samuel Bolduc on that Bridgeport Sound Tigers team. The only one, the only consistent player, again outside of Samuel Bolduc, from day 1 of the season to day 24 of the season. The only player. They needed to keep this guy. He was a leader on and off the ice for the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, and he should also be a leader for them on and off the ice for the now Bridgeport Islanders. It made no sense to not sign this guy, so I'm glad they did. Will he lead the team in production and goals next year? Probably not, but that doesn't matter. He will provide them with veteran offense, he will provide them with veteran leadership, and that's why you sign a guy like Cole Bardreau. Next is Otto Koivula. There wasn't really a doubt that they were going to sign him, right? Like, they offered him a qualifying offer, so there's no sense of him going anywhere else. He was an RFA. So the grade here isn't really going to be more than like a B, because it can't be anything less than that. Like, I'm not going to penalize them for signing one of their promising RFAs. It makes no sense. But the thing here, the only reason it's not an A+, I guess, is because I want to see more from Otto Koivula. He had that really good first rookie AHL season, and since then it's kind of been downhill. I need to see more from Otto Koivula, and I'm sure you do too as well. He needs to be that power forward he should be. He needs to play that role this year, and he hasn't for the last couple of years. So that's the reason it's a B and not like an A+, because he isn't the player that he should be. He can be that guy. He really can be. He just needs to show it. He needs to bring that out in his game. Dmytro Timashov is another player that's returning, and I give this a B grade. And the reason I give him a B and not like an A or something like that is because there's a lot left to desire from Dmytro Timashov. There's potential there at the AHL level for him to be a pretty darn good player. I don't expect him to be an NHLer, but I expect him to be a pretty darn good AHLer. And he wasn't quite that last year. There were stretches where you're going like, all right, I can see him being a really good player. But when he wasn't in that stretch, he was very much not a good player for the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. Now, maybe with more quality on the team, that can bring out the quality of Dmitry Timashov. That remains yet to be seen, and that's why I give him a B, because the potential is there, but we need to see him fulfill that potential. So the signing makes sense, and it's a decent signing for the Bridgeport Islanders, but we need to see more from Dmitry Timashov still. The first of two new players coming in is Andy Andreoff. This is a good signing. I give this one an A. He's a physical, in-your-face, will drop the gloves type of player. And while I don't necessarily, and fighting isn't my favorite part of the sport, it is a necessary part of the sport. It is something that is still part of the game, and so you need guys to do that. And if Ross Johnson isn't going to be playing on the Bridgeport Islanders, someone's got to do it, and it can't just be Seth Helgeson all the time. Andy Andreoff is a guy that can do that, and he can put up points at the AHL level. This is exactly what the Bridgeport Islanders need. Someone who's tough, who's hard to play against, will drop the gloves, but will also put up points. That was an element of their game that they were missing last year. They were not hard to play against, and this signing will give them that. That's why it's an A. The final player and the last newbie coming in is Paul Ledoux. Now, if he does play at the AHL level, that's an effective signing, an effective replacement level player at the NHL level, which means he should be a pretty good AHLer. He's a right shot defenseman, which kind of leads me to believe that if there's any one of these five guys that makes the NHL squad, it could be Paul Ledoux. And when I say NHL squad, I don't actually mean he's going to have a full-time role with the New York Islanders. If he makes the NHL squad, it's going to be as a seventh defenseman. A guy that they only throw in to kind of fill on injury duty kind of thing, to kind of fill in a role and be that extra guy when it comes to practice and whatnot. I don't expect him to be an everyday player. So I can see him playing at the AHL level through most of the year if he's not that extra skater for them. Let's say they find that left shot defenseman they want. Sebastian Aho would then be the 7th D, dropping Paul Ledoux to the AHL, which wouldn't be a bad fit for the Bridgeport Islanders. They need more quality players on the team, and he's definitely one of them, specifically on the right side. So this is a good move. It could be a good move if he plays for the Bridgeport Islanders. Again, I see him maybe sitting at the NHL level as an extra skater on the blue line. But if not, if Sebastian Aho fills that role, I can see Paul Ledoux dropping down and being an effective player for the Bridgeport Islanders. All in all 5 signings are good signings for the Bridgeport Islanders. It gives them an element that they didn't necessarily have, or an element that they needed to keep. So a good day for the Bridgeport Islanders. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And if you have, thank you, thank you, thank you.